And let me tell you how sick this woman is. The reason why she went with her cousins is I left her, and she knew I was never coming back. Larry convinced her, you need to go ahead and get a divorce. And so when he figured that out, so it took about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. He talked to her, don't let him come back. I wasn't coming back. I'm gone forever. Okay. As soon as he knew it was locked in, Tasha, that's when he called his wife and asked her for he wants a divorce. He called me down 2 times, Ebony Weathers. Mm-hmm.
So they both divorcing at the same time?
No. He asked his wife for a divorce after he slept with Keke. And he knew it was a lie.
All right, y'all. Before we go any further, take a moment to steady yourself, because what we're about to talk about has left the internet in absolute shock. And I'm not talking about regular celebrity drama, the kind people laugh at, gossip about, and move on from by the end of the week. No, this one is different. This one feels heavier, darker, and way more personal than anyone ever expected. Because the rumor that just leaked about Keke Wyatt didn't just open old wounds, it ripped the entire situation wide open.
And so 3 weeks after I left, she cannot be alone, a lunatic. And so she figures out that I'm not coming back. I'm never coming back. Okay? Smart girl. And so she calls her cousin, who's still married to his wife, has him to come. He comes like 1 or 2 times. The second time, he stays. He convinces her, you gotta divorce him. The goal is for Larry to get his divorce, her to get her divorce. He called Ebony after he was telling her he locked it in, asking his wife for a divorce. So this woman stole her cousin away from his wife and had her own cousin to come live with her, and they began an ancestral relationship.
According to her ex-husband, who is now speaking louder than he ever has before, there is allegedly a DNA report. Yes, a real document, not screenshots, not whispers, not someone's cousin's cousin talking on Instagram Live. An actual test that he claims proves something almost too unbelievable to repeat out loud. Something that, if true, would change everything people thought they understood about this woman, her marriages, and the complicated world surrounding her. Because what he's alleging is that one of the children he raised, loved, and believed was his might not be his at all. And according to him, the biological father is someone nobody could have predicted, nobody could have prepared for, Keke's own cousin. Let that sink in for a second. Not an old ex. Not a random man. Not a secret boyfriend. A cousin.
Put a finger down if you were diagnosed with cancer as a teenager and your parent decides to publicly announce your diagnosis for personal gain and attention, but behind the scenes saying that your diagnosis is karma for you being a part of the alphabet mafia. And if they'd known that you were going to turn out like this, they could have kept their money.
And the internet is losing its mind. People are confused, people are angry, people are feeling secondhand heartbreak just imagining what this must feel like. And whether this is true or not, and we have to say allegedly every 5 seconds, this story has cracked open a history of scandals, old patterns, and emotional chaos that has followed Keke for years. So let's slow it down a little. Let's rewind. Because to understand how we ended up here, with leaked papers and claims of betrayal within the family, you have to know the emotional journey, the marriages, the hurt, and the chaos that built up long before this DNA story ever surfaced. Before the headlines, before the accusations.
You want to know something, America? When you 8 months pregnant, and you got a child sick, in and out of the hospital, and your husband got the nerve to tell you that he wants a divorce because he says that you're an emotional wreck. He says that if from the very beginning you never trusted me and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, telling other people, other women that we getting a divorce and don't, if she calls or it's like, what? Like, I am so done with Michael Jamar. Y'all can have him and roast his ass.
Before her name became tied to more controversy than music. There was just Keke, raw, talented, church-raised, and trying to build a life that made sense. People forget sometimes, but Keke wasn't just known for drama. She was celebrated for her voice. That kind of voice that didn't sound like it came from a person. It sounded like it came from somebody's soul. The type that could break you down, lift you up, and bring you to tears, even when you didn't know what she was singing about. She wasn't just another artist, she was special. And that's why so many people rooted for her.
You know when she see this, Keke mama, Miss Lorna Jean, I'm sorry, Miss Lorna Jean Keke's mama. She cried, she had told me a couple times, but she cried her heart out. Keke, she missed it. She was on the other side of the bed, she was in the bedroom. And my daddy was from Thomasville, Georgia. That's why I got this little accent or whatever.
Oh, you good?
My daddy was from Thomasville, Georgia. And she was crying and bawling her eyes out. Here's what she said. She knew the calling on my life. She said, Zach, please don't leave my daughter. Because if you leave her, I believe, I don't want to be spit, forgive me. I believe that she will meet her demise because she's gonna self-destruct. She's been on a path to self-destruct and it's gonna eventually catch up with her. And I don't know how much longer she'll be here.
But behind the talent was a childhood that wasn't easy. Strict upbringing, high expectations, a world where faith and control sometimes blended in ways that didn't leave much room for her to figure out who she truly was. She grew up fast, maybe too fast, married young, became a mother young, took on responsibilities that other people her age hadn't even begun to consider yet. By the time most young adults were just stepping into their independence, Keke was already somebody's wife, somebody's mother, and somebody trying to juggle a music career with the weight of family pressure. And as much as people admired her strength, that foundation created cracks that followed her into adulthood, cracks that showed up in every relationship she entered.
With her, I loved her back then. She got worse. All this stuff, the marriage where I met and whatever, she wasn't as bad. She wasn't like this when she was younger. She wasn't as bad as this. Life experiences or whatever, it just, and she took it all out on me. But then again, Michael Jamar, you're hearing the same old story. Abuse.
Her first marriage was chaos from almost the beginning. A volatile mix of arguments, accusations, emotional storms, and moments that later became public in the worst way. Police reports, scandals, headlines that painted a painful picture. And even though that marriage eventually ended, people felt sympathy for her. They saw her not as someone causing the chaos, but as someone trapped inside it.
Worries me, and it's like Keke is grown, she could do what she want to do, but personally my mom always had a different boyfriend, and you didn't tell her till she got older those boyfriends tried to touch on us.
See?
And so for Keke to have a revolving door of men, to me that's concerning, because it's like.
Then came the second marriage, and for a while it seemed like peace. A husband who appeared more stable, a growing family, the image of a woman finally finding her footing. But behind the scenes, the cracks reappeared. The emotional intensity, the instability, the pressure, everything started pushing the marriage to its breaking point. And when it finally collapsed, Keke publicly shared her heartbreak. Pregnant, alone, betrayed. And once again, the public wrapped their arms around her in sympathy. But then came the third marriage. And for many people watching, something felt repetitive. Quick marriage, quick pregnancy, new promises, new beginnings, only for old patterns to rise right back to the surface. But this time, the husband wasn't quiet. He wasn't trying to save face or hide the dysfunction. He started talking, a lot. And what he shared made people view Keke not just as a survivor of chaos, but maybe, just maybe, someone contributing to it. And this is where things take a turn so sharp, so unexpected, that even longtime fans didn't know what to say anymore. Because according to this ex-husband, their marriage fell apart not simply because of disagreements or incompatibility, but because of something far deeper. Something involving a man who should have been nowhere near their relationship in that way. A man who wasn't just in the family tree, he was right there in the inner circle. Her cousin. He claims that while they were married, while he was building a home and raising children, there was another man, family, moving close behind the scenes. And as wild as that sounds, that wasn't even the part that truly shook people. What really shook them was the claim that this cousin didn't disappear after the marriage ended. No, he allegedly stayed close, stayed involved, stayed present. And people started whispering. And timelines stopped lining up. And photos got analyzed harder than FBI evidence. But even with all the rumors, most people still didn't believe it. It felt too extreme, too humiliating, too damaging to imagine could be real. So the story stayed in that murky space between speculation and scandal, until now. Because now, the ex-husband is saying he has proof, a test, paperwork, a DNA report that he claims shows one of the children he believed was his isn't biologically his at all. And the name that's being whispered as the biological father is the same name that has been circling this story for years. The cousin. He is standing firm on this, 10 toes down, no wavering, no maybe, no I think. He says he was lied to, deceived, made to feel like he was losing his mind anytime he questioned anything. He claims he was told he was jealous, insecure, controlling, imagining things, all while, according to him, the truth was being hidden in plain sight. Imagine that for a second. Imagine raising a child you believe is yours. Imagine the late nights, the diapers, the lullabies, the school events, the holidays. Imagine the love. Then imagine finding out through a test that everything you thought you knew was wrong. That doesn't just hurt. That destroys something inside a person. And that's exactly what he says happened to him. He says this wasn't just cheating, it was betrayal of the deepest kind. The kind that shakes your entire identity. The kind that makes you question your worth, your judgment, your dignity. And the internet? It exploded. Some people said, "We've been seeing the signs for years." Others said, "Leave the children out of it." And some said, "Until she speaks, none of this can be proven." But regardless of which side people fell on, one thing became clear. This situation has changed how people look at her, how they look at the marriages, how they look at the patterns. Because it's one thing to have relationship drama, but when you bring in family, when you bring in children, when you bring in allegations this serious, it hits a different nerve. And what makes this even more complicated is that the cousin in question isn't some distant relative who barely exists in the background. No, he has been around, connected, present, involved in ways that have made people uncomfortable long before this story even resurfaced. And when you combine that with a DNA claim, whether true or not, it creates the kind of storm you can't just sing your way out of. The emotional impact of this doesn't end with one man's heartbreak. It stretches out like ripples in a lake. It moves into the children's lives, creating questions no child should ever have to face. It impacts how the public sees Keke as a mother, as a partner, as a woman. It affects her career, her public image, her reputation, everything. And whether the allegations are ever confirmed or denied, the damage is already there. Because once a story like this catches fire, you can't unhear it. You can't unsee the headlines. You can't erase the questions. All you can do is watch as the truth, whatever it may be, slowly comes to the surface. And that's the thing nobody wants to talk about. Even if everything in this story were refuted tomorrow, even if every detail was proven false, the emotional wounds already created can't be undone. The trust is already broken, the doubt already planted, the narrative already shifted. But if these allegations are true, if the paperwork says what the ex-husband claims it says, if a family member really crossed a boundary this deep, then this is bigger than drama, bigger than gossip, bigger than a messy breakup. This would be one of the most painful betrayals a person could ever face. You can hear that pain in his voice when he talks. You can feel the exhaustion, the weight, the heartbreak of a man realizing that years of his life were built on half-truths and hidden stories. He says he questioned things and was made to feel crazy. He says he tried to protect his family while being told he was the problem. And now he's asking the question that the entire internet is whispering. If I hadn't taken that test, would I ever have known the truth? And that's the part that hits the hardest, because it forces you to think about how many people walk around with secrets they may never uncover, how many families carry silent truths, how many people believe in something that isn't what it seems. As for Keke, she hasn't confirmed anything. She hasn't denied anything either, and that silence is making the speculation grow louder every hour. People are waiting for her to speak, waiting for her to explain, waiting for her to say something, anything that brings clarity to this storm. But at the moment, all we have are the allegations and the emotional wildfire they've created. And here's what people are quietly wondering now. If this is true, who was protecting who? Who knew what? And how long has this been going on behind closed doors? Because when betrayal involves blood relatives, children, and years of silence, it's never just one lie. It becomes a web, and webs always catch more than one person. But here's the truth nobody wants to admit. This story isn't just about scandal. It's about pain, deep pain. Pain that reaches into childhood wounds, relationship patterns, unresolved trauma, and generational cycles that people rarely talk about publicly. It's about a woman who has lived her entire life in extreme emotional environments. It's about men who entered relationships expecting stability but found storms. And it's about children who deserve peace but are growing up inside chaos. And no matter who is right or wrong, no matter how the DNA story unfolds, this situation is going to leave scars on hearts, on reputations, on families that may never fully heal from this. Because trust, once broken this badly, doesn't behave like a bone that can be set and healed. It behaves more like shattered glass. You can pick up the pieces, you can try to glue them together, but it will never look the same again. And that leaves us with one haunting question, a question the internet keeps repeating, a question that echoes through every corner of this story. How many people were hurt while the truth was being hidden, and who will still be standing when everything finally comes into the light?